Is a foreclosure crisis knocking on the door? Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up, strap in. I got a hard-hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating, no rainbows, no sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Buckle up, strap in, hold on to your hats and your glasses as we blow the lid off the U.S. economy and the U.S. housing market. Lose one, you lose the other. A vacuum that's going to pull the other one along for the ride. That's how serious the waters we're swimming in now. And do you ever get the sense that the other shoe is about to drop? Listen, my friends, buckle up and strap in. This is the Raise Awareness channel. Reading between the lines, looking between the cracks, examining the health and the fitness the biggest housing bubble ever produced in world history, and now being put through the biggest stress test ever witnessed in world history to see if it can tolerate interest rate hikes. And we've already seen what it's done. The reverse course has happened when initially rainbows and sunshine, the mainstream media just full of reports.
It's a great time to buy the red hot housing market. You can't
All
lose.
these so-called professionals telling you no crash risk here. Well, listen, my friends, we're going to read between the lines and look between the cracks. You know, I would say the truth is somewhere in the middle. I mean, I'm hoping so, right? I am hoping so. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, come out somewhere in the middle. Listen, it's better to be prepared for something, have it not happen, than have something happen and not be prepared. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Many people don't have a plan right now. They're running on fumes, paycheck to paycheck, with the U.S. savings rate at an all-time never seen before low. They're running on fumes. U.S. debt at an all-time high. Bank failures, we could go on and on and on. We always talk about throw a dart at an economic challenge. A quick break from the show to bring you today's video sponsor, Noble Gold. I would never suggest anybody do anything that I'm not doing or willing to do myself. I own gold and I believe you should as well. Let's hear why. The second largest and third largest bank runs in history happened last month. The government is taking steps to guarantee all deposits. That means more money printing. Thousands have approached Noble Gold Investments to secure their wealth with gold. Gold is the most stable asset outside of government control. Hurry and go to noblegoldinvestments.com to secure your wealth. Bag a free 5-ounce American the Beautiful coin if you qualify. Again, to Noble Gold for sponsoring today's video. Always be careful when investing. There's always going to be risk. Now, let's get back to today's video. Back in the '08 bubble, it was loose lending, subprime mortgages that caused the biggest bubble and crash ever witnessed in history. We would be lucky if all we were contending with at the moment was some loose lending and subprime mortgages. No, we had a lockdown, a health crisis, a money dump, euphoria, FOMO, bidding wars. Take your pick. It all happened in this one. The perfect storm to deliver another housing crisis. So anybody that wants to minimize that and say, oh no, crash risk here, it's still relative, resilient. Wow. And I know many of you are going to jump in the comments. If you're new, please subscribe and subscribe right away. Never been a more important time, centered and surrounded with like-minded people. Iron will sharpen iron. I know a bunch of people are in the comments, and my area is still hanging on and doing quite well, Scott. We're still enjoying a bunch of our no, you're not. You're running on fumes. You're dancing on the razor's edge. You are flatlining at best. If you went up at all, it's a tick or two. Don't hang on to that. Listen, friends, expect the unexpected in this one. If you can't wrap your head around that, you're just going to learn the lessons I learned in 2008, and I'll have to walk you through that nightmare later on in the channel as this thing unfolds. So here at the channel, we like to look at warning signs, right? We like to be ahead of the curve because I know there's a lot of clickbait out there. Even this channel can be construed as clickbait, crash videos. You can construe it as that. No problem. I'm okay with that. You see, my job is to raise awareness, ring the bell and sound the alarm, and let people know anytime the housing market exhibits bubble behavior, they've crashed 100% of the time. So this would be the first time in history we escaped it. And we have much bigger things to talk about, but we continue to monitor the health and the fitness of the U.S. housing market because it's the biggest asset class in the world, the path to wealth. where 90% of all millionaires make their money. So if that's not you, that's fine. I understand. Go buy a FOMO factory house and get underneath a big staggering payment where you're one hiccup, one flat tire away from a tailspin where you're dragging a depreciated asset along for the ride until ultimately it goes into foreclosure. If you want to be that person, I can't stop you. All I can do is do my best to protect the ones that understand the severity of what we're dealing with now. So speaking of that, dragging a depreciated asset along for the ride, that's what 10 million people are doing right now that bought in the height of the bubble. Their houses are going upside down every day. Right now, as I'm speaking, another house went upside down. Many areas right now that thought they were going to weather the storm, they just went upside down. As I'm speaking right now, the clock is ticking on everybody right now. A majority of areas are starting to see that, in fact, be the case. So I've reported, as we read between the lines and look between the cracks, a lot of companies reach out to us and want to onboard agents to train them as they anticipate bank-owned properties. Those emails are real. I've showed you videos in the past. If you're new, go watch past videos. I'm sure you can probably find one. If not, we'll try to do another video coming up soon where I expose those companies and those emails doing, in fact, that, onboarding agents to be trained on selling distressed bank-owned homes. Those emails are out there. But the newest trend that I'm seeing right now that's alarming is social media. There's now companies springing up on like Instagram. I got a Scott Walters Real Estate page on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm everywhere. Digital footprint. Got to be, got to have your digital footprint. Silliness. Now I'm seeing on Instagram posts, stay out of foreclosure, avoid foreclosure. This is happening. When you see this now, I've always talked about this. The nail in the coffin is when mainstream media gets a hold of narratives. Well, social media is scratching that itch as well. And I'm seeing marketing pieces produced that people are biting. They're afraid of foreclosure and they're reaching out to these companies on social media. Yeah, I need help. I don't want to go into foreclosure. And then these companies are basically, in essence, what they're doing, in my belief, is because I saw this in the last bubble, they're preying on people in desperation that are consumed with fear and they're willing to get anybody that's willing to help and keep them out of foreclosure. I want to believe it's going to be true. It's like looking at the listings we look at these online sometimes. The listings too good to be true. Like, oh my God, look at the price of this house for sale or for rent. It's insane. And it's a scam. So I've exposed so many scams. And I know many of you, we've trained each other how to identify these scams. Many things we've identified. But let's go ahead and run what's currently trending on Instagram. And then we'll meet back here and wrap it up. Let's get started. Behind in your mortgage payments? Stop foreclosure. This is the type of marketing pieces now being generated all over social media. The sign of a healthy housing market or not? Let's get back to the studio so we can wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back. So that's what you can now enjoy seeing on social media. That one was pulled down off of Instagram. Is that the sign of a healthy housing market? Well, this is what we call reading between the lines and looking between the cracks, getting ahead of the curve, forward thinking and critical thinking and understanding the waters that we're swimming in now as we raise awareness and ring the bell and sound the alarm and let people know housing bubbles typically produce what? Crashes. Crashes typically produce what? Foreclosures. And I'm sorry, don't shoot the messenger. I'm here to protect you because, see, here's the goal. If we're buying right now, every market's different. We're examining how long a market, are they sucking air, how many price reductions, should we test it with an offer, let's not fall in love with it because we might have to walk away. That's the mentality we practice here. FOMO factories, they don't practice that. Fall in love with finishes and upgrades and, the builder says they'll give you some Pergo instead of that carpet, sign right here. Agents touring people, you better buy now. You better buy now. We anticipate, that we're going to have a big summer and things are going to magically turn around. It's going to be like fairy dust sprinkled all over the housing market, and you should get in now. Just date the rate and marry the house. Don't worry about any of that rate stuff they're talking about. It's always time in the market, not timing. You don't need to time the market. I don't want to time the biggest crash ever witnessed in history that's potentially looming. Don't want to do that. I want to grab a depreciated asset now and drag it along for the ride through the crash. That sounds like a great idea. No. Not at this channel. That's not what we're practicing here. We're looking at property by property basis. Final thoughts. I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand, when you see trending Instagram and social media pieces now, foreclosure help, why do you think they're doing that? For fun? It's not clickbait. It's people, the only people that are going to click on that are people facing foreclosure. It's happening. We've seen the data. Foreclosure starts are spiking. Delinquencies are spiking. People are behind in their payments. They said that was impossible. I was told that would be impossible because people had appreciation in their homes or they had a low interest rate. It was going to save them. It won't. Every time the markets exhibit bubble behavior, and this was the biggest bubble ever, overnight appreciation, never seen before highs, it's going to have volatility. It's going to have crash risk. So anybody putting zero crash risk on the biggest bubble artificial growth in history wants to sell you a house. Financial gain. On life support. Drink the Kool-Aid. Take your pick. Throw a dart at an economic challenge map, and they probably suffered from that. Some areas still are oblivious, in denial, unwilling to listen to the things we're talking about. Eventually, they're going to have to listen. Guess what? There'll be a deer in the headlights, unable to operate it within it efficiently because they're going to be in worse shape than their clients. Many of them still are, or already are. Those are the waters we're swimming in. Understanding that, admitting there's a problem was the first step of getting past the problem. Accept it. It's just the waters we get to navigate now. Now it's doing it in a way that positions ourselves so our mental capacity, our faculties, so our mental capacity is capable of digesting this information and coming out the other end smelling like a rose. I'm going to be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.